Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're talking about the brand new M12 FUEL Gen 3 1/4-inch impact driver. This one right here is the brand new top of the line one. It's the one that they recently released in the new, I don't know, Milwaukee, what do they call it? Pipeline, whatever it is. We weren't there, but we did buy this with our own money. So we're gonna go over this tool top to bottom, see how it stands up against on the test track compared to all the other tools. So stick with us. All right, you guys, so this right here is the M12 FUEL 3453. Wow, 3453-20, which is the Gen 3 M12 FUEL 1/4-inch impact driver. This is the FUEL impact driver on their M12 line, so it's top of the line flagship one. And it was recently released, and we've had a chance to use it a couple times here and there, doing small things, you know, things above your head, things that you would use a light impact driver for, not necessarily need the big boy and power and all that stuff. So we're gonna go over this tool top to bottom, but before we do that, we're gonna go look at the marketing hype, and then we'll bring it closer and take a better look at it. So this right here is the M12 FUEL 1/4-inch Hex Impact Driver. It's a POWERSTATE Brushless motor that delivers up to 1,500 inch-pounds of torque. Here it's a tri-LED illuminated workspace, 4-mode drive control, that's 1, 2, 3, and then there is a self-tapping screw mode. It's a single-handed bit insertion for easy use, all metal belt clip for portability, compatible with all 12 M12 tools. It's Fastest Subcompact Impact Driver available. Maximum Workspace Visibility. I think that's probably a play on tri-LED lights. It's only 5 inches in length to fit in most tight spaces for access, up to 3,600 RPMs in mode 3, lightweight at 2 pounds for tool belt portability and less fatigue, as we talked about earlier. Includes are the REDLINK Lithium Plus, compatible with, you know, all of these M12 tools, and it's pretty compact. What you really want to take away from here is it's about 5 inches long, weight is right around 2 pounds, height is about 7.6 inches, 1,500 inch-pounds, 5-year tool warranty, and if you buy it as a kit, a 2-year battery warranty. And there's pretty much 4 modes, with 3 of them being used for power, so low, medium, high. Okay, IPM is about up to 4,000 IPM. All right, so if you're holding the tool, this part right here is left-hand side. It's pretty much a standard M12 tool. If you were blindfolded and you held this tool, you would know this is an M12 tool just by feeling it, right? So pretty standard stuff here. No frills, no throws. It's pretty standard Milwaukee M12 grip right here with the rubber over mold. That's got a variable speed trigger. We'll go drilling that right here. It's a forward reverse switch. You can also put in the middle and lock it out. There's a small belt clip here held on with 1 screw. Other than that, not too much going on in here. It's got to say Milwaukee, and there's got to say FUEL on here, but you know, standard overmolded like grippy parts here to prevent, you know, marring, scarring, slippage and stuff like that. But other than that, like I said, that's what holds it up for that side. On the back side here, there is, you know, this part is flat, pretty standard back part here as you were for a grip holding it. I will say FUEL and brushless here, just in case you didn't know your tool is brushless. Moving on the right hand side, pretty much exactly the same as the other side. Right here you will see a belt hole screw, so if you want to take this belt clip off with 1 screw, put it in on here, you could do that. Most people would do that if you're like left-handed, because you would use it with your left hand, then you would put it on your belt, which would be like right there. So that's what's going on there. What you could otherwise say on here is, like I said, variable speed trigger. We'll drill into that a little bit. But looking on the front here, they have 3 LEDs they've moved here, right? 1, 2, 3. This is actually very nice, mainly because it's the most direct to where you're going to be working, or where the workpiece is for the tip, right? So some tools will have the LED here, some tools have the LED at the bottom. Obviously that'll get in the way if you're working in, you know, some type of leveraged or shelf type area, because you're going to be holding it here and the light's going to be blocked. So this is obviously the best. It does feel like it's brighter, or maybe it's just doing a better job of illumination, so maybe that's it. But other than that, not too much going on with this. So this part right here, where the LEDs are recessed into, feels like it's rubber overmolded, so it feels like it's going to hold up pretty well. This part right here is the 1/4-inch hex collet. It's a quick change, or quick insert, let's say, at least, because you can insert it with 1 hand, right, and it won't pop off. You can also take it off with 1 hand, or exert it if you wanted to. You just pull this collet up and then pull it out, right? If you just, you know, use tools, like, you could probably get around to doing that, but you know, if you don't feel like you want to do 1-handed, just do that, no problem, right? So other than that, this tool seems to work pretty well. We've used it quite a bit, and you know, we haven't had issues with the bit and stuff like that falling off. Okay, so let's move on to the top part here, which has the modes. So if you look here, let's put it on mode 1. there's a button here, you can press it, you know, to move around to the modes. We'll go to mode 1. Go to mode 2. Go to mode 3. And self-tapping mode. So we don't use self-tapping mode too much because we just don't use this for self-tapping screws, and we just don't do self-tapping screws all that much. But anyways, it does work pretty well. What it generally does, it spins up, and then you can use it, and then right before or right when it starts impacting or feels that resistance, it'll cut off the power such that you won't strip the screw. If you're working with really thin metal, it will still strip. Where I've seen it strip a couple times, but you know, it's better than nothing. A lot of people sometimes just like to use either variable speed, trigger, action skills. So how does this tool compare to the Gen 1 tool? So this right here is a Gen 1 M12 FUEL Impact Driver, and we have not used this one a ton, mainly because, you know, when we're looking for light or 12 volt type tools, we're looking for light, compact, and ergonomic, right? So mainly in that order, at least for me. That's personal preference. But other than that, if you look at it from the side here, you're not going to notice a huge difference. The biggest difference you're probably going to notice is size, right? So this M12 Gen 1 is much longer than the Gen 3, as you look here. It's got a little bit of design differences, right? But the basic overall design has stayed the same. Same type of grip here. It's angled upwards. If you look at it this way, same type that way. The front part is probably what's going to be a little bit varying because, you know, instead of like a cone nose type feel, this one is flat. The back part here is not as flat. It's a little bit more rounded over. The back part here is obviously flat. Okay. Unfortunately, we do not have the Gen 2 M12 FUEL Impact Driver, mainly because we just never had a chance to buy it because we never felt like we needed it. So the model number on the Gen 1 here is 2453. The model number on the Gen 3 is 3453. So that may be an easy way to look at it. There's a few differences, you know, like right here on the Gen 1, the LED light's here. Gen 3 LED light is here. But, you know, other than that, if you're just holding it, it just doesn't feel too huge. The Gen 3 obviously has a self-tapping mode, whereas the Gen 1 does not. The Gen 1 only has a low and high mode. But it generally works just as well in terms of the button. So here, let's tell you variable speed. Let's go to mode high and check out the variable speed trigger. That's speed 2. Here's speed 2 on here. Here's speed 3 on here. Obviously, in case you couldn't hear it, the speed 3 obviously sounds faster. So let's go take a look at something else. This right here is a Makita Subcompact XDT15. And yes, we're going to take a look at it mainly because it is a subcompact impact driver, or classified as at least. And this, in the marketing hype, is classified as a subcompact impact driver, okay? So XDT15 here, this is a 2 amp hour battery, which means it has 5 cells in series. This is a 4 amp hour battery, which means it has 3 cells in series, and there's 2 sets of them. So this actually has more battery cells than this, before you go off and talk about that kind of stuff. So let's go take a look. If you put them right next to each other, stand side by side, or, you know, front and back, this one will obviously be just a little bit tad higher here. If you look at it this way, this one will be a little bit longer here. This one shares, the Makita shares a similar type design with the cone nose as this first generation M12 FUEL. But other than that, you know, there are some pretty big differences, right? Like for instance, the battery packs on the M12 tools are stick packs, which means they have to go into the tool themselves, which means you are grabbing around there, right? If you see here, hands will not even, fingers won't even come close or won't even touch here. Just look at where that is. And if you look at the other one, it comes much closer. This just feels more comfortable, just for me. Like I said, it's a personal thing. Other than that, or otherwise, the controls are down here for the subcompact tool on the Makita. The controls are right on top here. You know, I'm just nitpicking at that. But the other big thing is this belt clip. So when you're using M12 tools or light tools, you're probably, you know, reaching overhead or doing something lighter. You may even be on a ladder. So I often have to, you know, if I'm on a ladder, I want to put this on your belt. And putting it on your belt, especially this close where, you know, where you got to engage, it becomes really difficult, okay? Even if you try to put it on your tool bag or your tool belt. This one right here is obviously much easier because you just do, you know, it's much bigger, easier to grab. It's not as recessed, and you could probably bend this out, right? But that may, you know, compromise its, let's call it, I don't know, capabilities or whatnot. Compromise the metal in terms of flexibility. Other than that, you know, we'll go ahead and test this tool to see how it stands up. I did want to give you a size comparison to the XDT15 because, you know, it's another tool that we like to use comparable in its class. All right, so let's go take a look at the number and see how it performed, right? So this 3453 with the 4 amp hour XC battery on the 8-inch Timberlock test. First run 7.25, second run 6.38, third run 6.45, average of 3 runs. Comes in at 6.69 seconds. Moving on to the 5/16 by 6-inch lag test, medium duty test. First run 7.09, second run 7.50, third run 11.02. Taking average of 3 runs comes in at 8.51 seconds. Moving on to the quarter or half-inch by 8-inch lag heavy duty test. Obviously, if you watch the video or that part of the section, it just did not finish. Okay, it was going, it just couldn't get any more, and it just started like timing out, and it just couldn't get done. But you know, we are talking about a 1/2 by 8-inch lag on a compact subcompact tool, so you know, you probably wouldn't expect that. Expect it to finish, I mean, you would expect it to time out. Anyways, this tool configuration, meaning the battery and the tool combined, comes in weighing at a whopping 2 pounds, 7.4 ounces, okay? Like we talked about earlier, our RPM speed is around 3,600, IPMs is about 4,000, all right? And it generates around 1,500 inch-pounds, okay? So, let's take a total performance number and see where that adds in, right? How do we get the number? We take the sum of the 3 averages. Obviously, since one section did not finish, if you sum up the 8-inch Timberlock and the 5/16 by 6-inch lag test, the average comes in, or the total performance score comes in at 15.2 seconds and did not finish, right? Where does that put that? It puts it, bam, right at the bottom, or just kidding, not at the bottom, but close towards the bottom, at 15.2, did not finish, will take you to about 21 on the leaderboard, which is right above the Makita XDT15. And going into this video, I thought we had dynoed or tested, let's say, the Gen 1 impact driver, but apparently we did not, and yeah, that's a mistake on our part. We'll probably have to go and catch back up to that. Anyways, let's take a look. So the M12 FUEL, the 3rd generation one, on the 8-inch Timberlock test had a 6.69 average. The XDT15 with this 2 amp hour battery had 9.22. So yes, this is significantly faster. Even if you pair the XDT15 with the 5 amp hour battery, it'll still come in at 8.12, which is still, you know, a little bit faster, or the M12 Gen 3 fuel is still a bit faster on that one, right? Moving on to the 5/16 inch lag test, right? The average on this one came out to about 8.51. If you take it with the 2 amp hour battery, it comes out to 9.80. But if you take it with a 5 amp hour battery, it will come up with a 8.74. So those are more closely in line, right? But if you put a 5 amp hour battery on this, obviously you're kind of getting away from it being lightweight and compact. So let's take a look at what does that mean. So this battery weight configuration with the Gen 3 and the 4 amp hour battery weighs 2 pounds 7.4 ounces. With this configuration, it's 2 pounds 10.6 ounces. So yes, this is lighter than this. So, you know, this may be what you want to use. You obviously do not want to use the XCT15 with a 5 amp hour battery because, you know, it's just going to be heavier. You're getting away from, you know, lighter. So that's probably what there is. So let's just close this out. What can we say about this tool? This is a great tool, right? They've designed a tool that is compact in length, look how short it is, in size, and it's lightweight, especially if you put it with a 2 amp hour battery, which we just didn't test because, you know, the testing criteria seems to be set up for maximum performance. So, you know, maybe we may need to readjust that in the future, but which means that, you know, if you put a 2 amp hour battery, obviously the test number are going to be lower, but this will also be lighter. So that may be something to look at. So like I said, it's a great tool. We purchased it with our own money. Nobody sent this to us. This is not a sponsored video. It does work pretty well. We enjoyed using it. The LED light on here is very nice, especially when you're in like I said, a shelf and you're just doing something at the back of the shelf so you can actually see what you're doing instead of being cut off by the LEDs here, right? So on this one, the LED's right here. On the first gen run, the LED's in the same place. That's usually not as bad. This one seems to work pretty well. My only biggest gripe about this is the belt clip because, like I said, trying to put it on something has been a little bit of a challenge. But other than that, you pair this tool with a 2 amp hour battery, which you can buy it as a kit, -22. This is where you want to be, okay? If you don't really care about the handle stuff as much, this is probably one of the best compact impact drivers that you can find that is, you know, easy to maneuver, get around and put between studs and tight spaces and stuff like that. If you do care about the grip, this is probably where you want to be because grip is, you know, a lot more comfortable. So they're both great tools. If you want to get this tool, definitely go out and get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. If you're not in the battery platform and you're thinking about getting this tool to get into the battery platform, it's probably a very good buy because it will get you pretty well. One of the things I did notice after using it for quite a bit, and it does apparently show on numbers, is that it gets warm really fast, a lot faster than I would have imagined. And I think it getting warm fast actually had to do with the numbers, or I mean, had to do with the performance. And like I said, the numbers do show that. What do I mean? If you go look at the 5/16 inch by 6 inch lag test, it's more of a medium duty test, right? So the first run 7.02, second run it was getting warmer, so 7.5. Third run, much warmer, 11.02, right? So, you know, the first 3 timber lock tests, you know, that's pretty easy. But the tests are set up so that we run it in, then we pull it out. We run it in, and then we pull it out, right? So by the time more time goes on, the numbers, you know, obviously are going to get lower because it's getting warmer and warmer. We did also see that with the Makita XCT15, right? If you get into the 5/16 by 6 inch lag test, first run 8.95, second run 9.75, third run 10.70. So yes, it did also slow down, but I think that may just be a factor of subcompact impact drivers because, you know, they're obviously small. They're trying to generate a lot more power or impact performance with smaller anvil, and there's less space and all that kind of stuff, and there's more resistance that's got to spin around because, you know, whatever object it is trying to impact against, it just isn't moving. And it's smaller, so it does have less heat dissipation. So that's just something to be worried about M12 tools or just smaller compact tools in general. But, you know, if you're really doing that type of work as we did in the test, you really need to step up to the 18 volt or 24 volt type system. So just wanted to point that out. But otherwise, I'm just here to give you numbers. It's a great tool. Would I go out and buy this tool again? That's a hard question because I'm personally going to say no, mainly because like I mentioned in other videos, I'm just not too heavily invested in the M12 line. We are significantly invested in the Makita line with the, subcompact batteries also, and we do like this handle. But if I did not have this tool or weren't necessarily in that, yes, I would definitely go buy this kit because it's a great deal, right? It's a great tool, you get good power and good performance. So, speaking of that, let's see what you get. So, you can buy a kit, this is not the drill, and this, I believe, tool only comes in right around $149. If you buy this and the Gen 3, which is not this, hammer drill with 2 batteries and a kit, it'll come around $199. For that price, you should definitely buy it because it is a great deal. I'm pretty sure this one, it will be probably more expensive than this one. So if cost is a factor, I would definitely go with this one, right? But like I said, get it as a kit and not only as this kit with the 2 batteries and a charger in a bag or stuff like that. So like I said, hope this video helped you guys out. Sorry for all the rambling. Have a great day and we'll see you guys next time.